Hey everybody, this is Alzorath, and welcome back to Diablo 2. Today we are going to be going with an Amazon. This is going to be part of Season 2. We're going to be going through normal on this. We still have a few other classes left to go, as well as an Assassin, a Paladin, and a Barbarian. I believe, I don't remember whether we did a Druid on Season 2. I think we did. I think we did Summoner and Elemental with him. But I know we have the Assassin, Barbarian, and Paladin left, and so we're going to do Amazon first. It's the one that we waited until late to do with last one, and that was the Poison Javelin, but we're going to go with Skadi, or Skati, or depending on multiple pronunciations of it. But basically, it's a Norse goddess related to archery and hunting, so you can kind of guess what we're going to be going with as far as her skills go. I'm actually going to be focusing in on magic arrow, guided arrow, and cold arrows. I'm not too concerned about getting a lot of damage on the cold arrows. My main damage is probably going to be from the magic arrow. This is not one that's particularly great at going through the first time, but it's one that you can use to build into a better character later on, because the bow Amazon is just a fairly steady character. I need to up to players 8 because I actually do need that extra bit of experience because chance to hit. But we're going to go players 8 on this one. And I'm going to go with a bow sorceress. And speaking of, I don't have any money. Yeah, derp. But let's go ahead and get ourselves a little bit of money here so we can possibly buy ourselves a bow to start out with. We're going to be stabbying for just a little bit. But no, it's one of the more steady character types. It's one of them that doesn't really get super nerfed, but it's also one that's not terribly strong. And I'm about to just ditch this shield. It's getting a little irritating. Come here. Give me that gold. Drop the shield. Yeah, early on, you have a pretty good block chance. It's a little bit irritating because the reaction animation is a royal pain in the arse. But this is some pretty good experience, so we're not too unhappy about it. And that buckler would have only gotten us 1 gold anyway, so I'm not worried about dropping it in the field. There's a dagger. Probably crap. Is it better than that stabby? No. I was just slightly curious, but let's go ahead and get our first level up. We're going to be dumping a lot of early points into magic arrow. We're avoiding the fire arrows, but one of the things that's kind of interesting is that this actually used to be called a magezon, but you would go for both immolation arrow and the big, like, explodey freeze arrow. I'm forgetting the name of it all of a sudden. Let's go ahead and look at it. There it is. Freezing arrow. I called it the right thing on accident. But, we really are overburdened. Let's identify some of this crap. But, yeah, it's one of those ones that was not super popular early on, but it was just one of the steady ones that you would recommend to new players to play through with, because even if you have crap equipment, this can still do decently. We'll go ahead and grab a few more things. We need the wand. We'll grab another sash. The leather gloves can come with us. Stamina potions. Yeah, we're just grabbing as much money-making as possible. And that should be a decent amount of cash for us just right off the bat. As far as stats, dexterity is going to be important to us. We also want to get vitality. Energy is an interesting thing. As you can see, as level up with the magic arrow thing, it can actually eventually get free. So, yeah, having a free magic arrow is very nice because you won't be using up ammo and you won't have to go back nearly as much. Let's sell you. We'll buy... we don't have enough gold for you. Let's see, what can we sell? We actually need that. There. Let's go ahead and sell a bunch of these potions because we're not going to need them right away. And we'll use that to get ourselves some identification going on here. Boom. And we'll identify bow first. +1 maximum damage. And whatever. We'll use it. We have arrows now. And let's see. We have 346. We'll identify the wand. That'll give us a good chunk of change. That'll give us a good chunk of change as well. We probably could have sold that one early on. Boom. Full thing of identify. Mainly because we're looking for dexterity boosts. Not really that great. We'll take the +1 strength there. Don't really care about the gloves. And we do want to go ahead and buy this while we have the chance. Boom and boom. Why am I holding on to the club? Go away. We'll go ahead and swap those out. And one odd thing that happened, this is just like an odd story from much earlier, is that whenever I first started playing, for some reason I just subconsciously would put the books and tomes on different sides of the inventory. Like on my Amazon, whenever I went back and was like looking at it, I would have like the town portal and identify on the left with the cube underneath it, and most other characters had it on the right, which was really weird to me, and I don't know why I did that. It's just an oddball thing that I sometimes did. We are going to need extra arrows for now. Let's go ahead and sell that back. There we go. Beautiful. Just one extra stack should be more than enough for us to deal with what we've got. We can possibly bring more. And I'm leaving it in my inventory, even though it's probably less efficient to do it that way, just so I actually have the arrows to go with it. So there we go. Magic arrow does not consume arrows. That is a definite plus. It's the only arrow skill that does that. Everything else consumes arrows. So yeah, magic arrow, nice. And it actually has increased damage for every level you get in it. It's not an amazing skill in the long run, but it's good for normal, just because you don't have to go buying arrows all the time. Let's find ourselves a little bit of a Den of Evil today. That's going to be our goal today. Just do Den of Evil. This one's probably going to be much slower than the Amazon, not the Amazon, the Sorceress run through we just got done with, just because that one was, yeah, super easy. Meteor didn't work too well against Diablo, but it worked great against just about everything else. In Nightmare and Hell difficulty, that one kind of starts sucking. This is not one you want to do if you are at all interested in speedrunning, by the way. This build sucks for speedrunning because it's so equipment dependent. We might actually have to farm for bows, and no, I cannot make Edge, the bow, because I do not have ladder-only rune words enabled. That would require modifying, well, introducing a mod to the game, which is not something I do for these series. This is going to be how you would get it single player, so not going to be doing all cheaty McGee here.
Yes.
Trade with you and go ahead and get rid of that, that, and that. And we've got healing potions in our belt. We'll build up some more of those in the very near future, but we're trying to get up a couple of levels just so we have the points in our magic arrow. We'll go 1 into multi-shot, and then we'll go to guided arrow. Multi-shot is an amazing skill. It's a good room clearer. But since we're going ice, I can use the ice spell here, the freezing arrow, to do the sweeping later on whenever we actually need it. But right now, don't really need it. Oh, I forgot these guys are a little bit tough. Let's go ahead and kill you. Boom. I should probably turn this off before we get to corpse fire. We need to get our little bit of extra experience, though. Get off my face. We do also need to get our evade skills done, but I'm slightly on the fence as to whether I really want to do the evade skills. The evade skills are nice, but, and this is a big but, and I cannot lie, they kind of slow you down a little bit. Like if you're getting swarmed, they can actually be your death because you're doing recovery animations rather than shooting things. Because the animations for these skills right here, the dodge, avoid, and evade, take a lot of frames to do. So yeah, we're going to go and get one critical strike. We need to get the cost of that down as well, but I need to get critical strike in there just so I can get that little bit of extra damage going on. We do want some strength for better armor as well. Can we hit you, please? Come on. Switch over to normal arrow. Yay! We don't have enough mana for the... There you go. Thank you for standing still to resurrect that little shit. Oh, can you please kill him? Stop and resurrect him. There you go. Die already. Jeez, I'm gonna have to go up and like walk on that guy's face to get him to stop moving. Stop moving, you damn shaman. This is one of the downsides of this character. Is I want to like naturally stay back, but if I stay back, they're going to keep running around on their little paths over there, and it's really frustrating. So we're gonna kill these guys just by getting up in their face, and kill these by just shooting them with the normal arrow. And I'm gonna drop it to players 1 now. Players 1, because we don't want to be shooting corpse fire for an hour and a half. That's kind of a given, I think. He might have already spawned, I hope not. If he did, I might have to reboot this character completely. It's early enough on that I don't feel too bad about restarting the run, but I would rather just go through in one go, so you guys can kind of have like that first encounter feeling. These characters are, some of them are ones that I've done a lot of tests on, some of them are ones that I just remember from a long time ago that I feel like resurrecting into the series. So yeah, it depends on which one it is. So yeah, you'll sometimes run into me doing things like, I want to say like the Summoner one, I just basically did mostly on memory with a little bit of a pre-run, whereas this one I'm doing entirely on memory. So if I get a Kuko Shikaku, by the way, on some online play, I'm probably going to do an online one with a sorceress to show off the bow sorceress, because the bow sorceress is an interesting build, and it's one that's worth mentioning. It's not super viable anymore because they did nerf the crap out of it. It used to be amazingly powerful because the Ooh, I think we're hitting the players 1 enemies now. Yay. Used to be extremely powerful because, let's go ahead and kill all these guys. Die. Thank you. The Fire Mastery skill would actually boost the damage from charms and attacks and stuff like that, the same it would do as it would do for spells, which is amazing. Do we want a decoy or a Valkyrie? I think we will. We're not going to go for any javelin skills, by the way. So we could go through these, but that requires me to get those skills. So we're going to go with Magic Arrow for now until I've decided for sure. So let's go with a little bit more strength. Obviously, we're getting strength early on just so we can equip better stuff. I'm going to grab a few extra arrows. But, yeah, now the enemies are super easy. Even with the bow not really doing any extra damage to them. And you can see whenever we get a critical hit because they'll do a little extra spark on it. See if we can get another one to trigger here. But yeah, it would boost the damage in a... just as it would do for spells. So you had all this fire damage on your character being boosted by hundreds of % of damage. So you were able to just rip through enemies in swarms. And with the charms, I don't know if they still do this, but it used to be like each source of fire damage would boost the radius of your fire damage from the exploding arrows by a certain amount of meters. And yeah, it would get huge. You'd be wiping out things that even like the lightning Bowazon had trouble hitting all of. So yeah, it's insane. Too bad I wasn't recording back then, otherwise you'd have some nice footage of it. But back then, recording video games was a lot less common. This would have been back in 2003, 2004, before YouTube. If you guys are curious, this was back in the days of E-Bombs World. So yeah, that's a thing. If you guys remember that one, geez, that's quite a long time ago. E-Bombs World was pre-YouTube. If you guys are curious, it's still around. I'm not sure the quality of the stuff there. I haven't visited it in years, so can't tell you if it's turned into like a porn site or something like that. So I would be very careful. I just happen to know that it still exists, because I know somebody linked to it not too long ago. So, yeah. Don't recommend going there just out of the blue, though. A lot of that happens to the old websites, like killfrog.com is... I think it's a dead site now. Killfrog is. There's one of them like that that turned into... just died. And is just a junk site that kind of haunts the internet now. Whereas there's other ones that stick around and just... continue creating content that no one looks at. It's really kind of weird to me how the internet devolves as well as evolves. Let's see. We're making okay time, like really crappy time actually, now that I think about it. Let's identify you because you're in the way. We'll throw that in there. Throw that there. And we'll kill you because you are being a little shit. Die. Thank you. Let's go ahead and pick up that short sword. We're going to sell a bunch of this stuff. I'll probably sell it off screen, but not entirely sure. One monster left. That would be you. Let's go ahead and shoot you in the face, and boom. Back into town we go, and we'll pop it back to players 8. Boom. Back to players 8 so we can get more experience. What was that? 1 to 6 lightning damage. We'll use it just to boost our damage a little bit, and we might even use skulls. I'm not positive on that. Return to Akara for your reward. Yay, we can put another point into crap. Thank you. Another point into this puts it at 1.2 mana per shot and plus 3 damage, and we get a attack rating boost on that as well. That's what makes this kind of a nice thing to just dump points into. And you're going to notice I'm not going to dump a lot of points into my ice skills until level 30. We should be reaching level 30 by the end of this one. I can't guarantee it. Let's see, is any of this going to be worth identifying? I'm going to identify you. Poison resist, definitely worth it. And we're going to sell the rest of this junk. Should be pretty good there. Let's go with you. And I'm not even going to identify stuff before selling it, just because I want to get rid of it. I'm still on the fence about the chip skull, because if we get a socketed bow, we can actually get a little bit of mana leech on that. That amplified damage is very tempting. I need to get a little bit more dexterity for it, but so is that cold damage. Let's go with 1 cold and 1 amplify. Can't use that just yet, but we can throw that into our other slot. So we have this junk one. And then we have this chilling there, so we should be all right. We have way more than enough arrows, and I'm going to keep that, so next level we should be able to get the dexterity to use it, and that'll be our good secondary bow. Boom. We'll throw that in there. And amplify damage with this. Not amazing. We're not doing a ton of damage, but it's going to be semi-useful. Let's see if we can find the next path to the Stony Field. Not going to go after Blood Raven just yet. We could probably take her out relatively easily, but I'm not going to go for it just yet. This cold damage is semi-decent. It'll actually allow us to shatter things randomly. Not guaranteed, but it'll get us a little bit. And there's an enemy there that's fire enchanted. We are not on Magic Arrow on that secondary. Yes, Magic Arrow actually does trigger the various things such as cold damage and leech and stuff like that. So if you have a little bit of leech, you can get enough damage to actually get through and kill things and still steal enough mana to keep shooting this indefinitely. But right now, we're more worried about these guys who are up on our face. Get off of my face, please. Thank you. Goodbye. There you are. And this guy is healing. Come here. Ow, 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 ow. Fine, we won't mess with you. Go away. Chip Sapphire. Not too bad. That'll give us even more damage. Let's go and get this well and just move away from him. We're looking for the next area. We're not looking for a fight here. I can do some leveling off screen. I'm not going to just yet. I'll save that for the Countess runs, but yeah. You can see that the Magic Arrow does its work here. So, yeah, we're not going to be using that exclusively. There is a starter bow. Like, if you are willing to tweak your characters, there's a starter bow that is actually amazing that has Magic Arrow as just an innate thing, so you never have to use ammo for it. And it's pretty good to upgrade. It's not the best bow in the game. There are far better bows, but it's still not terrible. And you are there, and you are going to be another Magic Arrow point. 1.1. We're almost down to 1 mana per shot. That's good. Later on, we'll have the mana leech to not have to worry about it. And you need to be there. There we go. And the bows look identical, unfortunately. So it's not sure which one we're on. There we go. Let's go ahead and slap those in there. Too many arrows is too bad. That looks decent. Let's see if we can take this guy now with the amp damage bow. Get back here. Oh, that's a little bit better damage just in general, too. So, go down. And it's not getting the amp damage proc just yet. Watch us get it right before he dies. That would be sad. We're going to get it on something eventually. There you go. Good job. Nice death. Give us all your crap and leave us alone. Get ourselves some experience there. Surprised he didn't spawn with more guys. That kind of threw me off just a little bit. We got some nice Dark Hunters here, which are decent experience. Let's see if we can get... Oh, there's our amp damage kind of procking there. We got too many of them behind us. This would be a point where multi-shot would be useful. We're going to get 1 point in it. We could dump a whole bunch of points into it, and I might do that in the bonus episode just to show off what you would do with a bow Amazon in the cow level. And we are doing enough damage to get a reaction out of them. That's at least a plus. There you guys go. And this is kind of how you're going to have to kite if you're doing players 8. It takes a little bit of challenge at the beginning to get kind of used to it, but later on we will be doing more damage so we don't have to run around quite as much. I may also look up a bow rune word that we can do, just to see if there's something useful there. Let's go ahead and get that there. I know that there's a few just generic weapon ones we can do as well. And you guys are making me walk. There we go. Run away. There's too many of you. We can just take them out like this, but I'm going to try to find the next area. I'm not too concerned about killing everything just right now. I want to find the next waypoint so we can end the episode. Because we are closing in on that 20-minute mark. I'll kill most of these guys probably off-screen between episodes, because it is a lot of kiting. So, yay. Very kind of boring stuff there, I know. You guys can back up off my ass. Please. Can I get my stamina to please start recovering? Thank you. Good job. This is probably going to be the wrong one, if I had to guess. Yep, it's the wrong one. I can tell by the zombies. Yeah, it's burial ground, so we've got to go back through these guys. Nope. I'm not dealing with all of you. Go away. Ouch. Quit it. They're not doing too much damage, so I'm not too worried about it. But I guess this other way down here is going to be the way to the Stony Field, because we want to rescue Cain so we don't have to keep identifying things manually, because I will be picking up a lot of stuff with this particular build, because it's kind of what I want to do. And that'll allow me to afford a slightly better bow and possibly find... Get away from me. Stop, you crazy little shit. Leave me alone. Get stuck. But yeah, this is going to be Stony Field. You can tell you're entering the burial grounds by the enemies that are right there. Usually be zombies. They don't spawn in the Stony Field one, so. Yay. Ooh, and a jewel. Lovely. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed this, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and there will be a lot more killing next time. So, keep gaming, have fun, peace out. This has been Alzorath. Bye.